Right, here we go again. Everyone's feeling pretty, it's hotter than July, and though the world is full of problems, they couldn't touch us even if they tried. Nothing like a little bit Stevie Wonder, is there, from 1981? 81 I think it was, wasn't it? Anyway, hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. And we're doing another stay-at-home lockdown video. This is number 2 in a series of about 400 videos that we're going to do while we're locked down and we're staying at home. I really hope we're not going to be in for 400 videos because I will go slowly mad and my hair will grow longer and longer because no one can get a haircut, can they? And the quality will probably slowly descend and I'll end up doing cookery features or something like that. This week I'm going to cook. This week Martin does a traditional recipe, egg on toast, with a twist. He uses an oven bottom muffin. Hello, how you doing? Sorry about the madness, but I think we're all going slowly mad, aren't we? So another stay-at-home magazine style video, and I've got a few features for you. We'll be looking at this, and this. So there you go, we've got a few features to look at this week, and I thought I'd carry on from last week's video. If you remember in last week's video, we were looking at the old Baytree mills, which were two great big twin mills near where I grew up. We finished off with a photograph of me with my Chrysler Avenger on the main road with my speakers with the mills behind me, but we were looking at some pictures of the mills as well, and it was really interesting for me because I've never seen those pictures before. Well, let me tell you, first of all, do you remember the Avenger? I was told to buy that Avenger by my mate's dad because they were easy to work on. How much does that date things? They're easy to work on. You wouldn't think nowadays of doing much of your own car maintenance, would you? Well, I know some people do, but when you get a brand new car these days, you look at it, you go, huh? I ain't got a clue what goes on under that bonnet anymore. But my Avenger, I used to do quite a bit with it. I think, did I do, I used to change the oil on it. I think I did the wheel bearings, took them out and greased them and all sorts of stuff. So, a friend of mine called Alan, Mr. Alan Roach, who I've known for many, many years. I can't remember, he runs a Facebook group, and he featured some pictures of the Baytree mills, and I said, Alan, those are really good pictures. He said, I've got 200 pictures of the mills when they were being pulled down. Give me a bit, I'll go through them, pick out the best for you, and you can show them on your YouTube channel. Fantastic. So I didn't get the pictures in time for last week's video, pardon me. But Alan has sent us the pictures this week, so I put them together in a bit of a slideshow. Some pictures of the Baytree mills near where I grew up being pulled down. Now the interesting thing about this is, Alan thinks it was 84, I think it was later than that. I'm sure it was about 88, 89 when they were pulled down. And they used a ball and chain. And it was a local firm from around this area, and the guy was called Ben Lancaster that pulled them down. And they used a ball and chain, like I said, and they used to hit the, the pole structure within the mill that held up all the floors. They used to hit one of the poles and drop the floors. And I've seen one of them when they pulled another mill down where they just hit the bottom pole and the whole lot of floors come crashing down. I don't know if it was legal or not, but it was fantastic to watch. Anyway, here's some still pictures with some music by Dean, a piece of music by Dean called Gibraltar. Hint at another future video when we can go out. So here's a slideshow of the mill being pulled down with a ball and chain. Let's take a look at this, and thanks Dean for the music. you go, some good pictures there, eh? Thank you, Alan Roach, for having the presence of mind to go out with your camera back in the day and take photos of that mill coming down, because you really did record history there. And thank you, Dean, for the great piece of music. Just two more pictures that Alan took that I want to show you. So you know the stair tower out, it seems to be a common thing that they leave the stair tower of the mill standing, the corner tower, and they pull that down last. I don't know whether it's because the stair tower is more solid because it's a corner bit, or whether it's quite often they've got a great big water tank at the top of the stair tower, so they sort of bring that down last. But Ben Lancaster, the contractor that pulled down the Baytree mills, blew up the stair tower. So there's two more pictures here that I'm going to show you. Take a look at this one. How fantastic is that? So you'll see there, if you look to the right there, all the charges are in the stair tower ready to be blown. And the people there, I think I recognise one of the faces there. That's a brilliant picture, that. So thanks, Alan, for getting in. And the fact that they let Alan in to take those pictures while they were putting the charges in just sort of, again, dates it around the time. Yeah, come in, take pictures, no problem. And one more picture I want to show you. So Alan got the perfect moment where the tower came down. Take a look at this. There you go. So Mr. Alan Roach, thank you very much for giving those pictures and letting us take a look at them. Right, so the second feature in our magazine style programme is catching up with Team Zero. Sorry, it gets worse, doesn't it? So the Team Zero is a joke. It's just the name for the people that come out with me and do the explores and stuff like that. So we thought we'd catch up with Team Zero, and I thought I'd do some Facebook FaceTime calls with people and see what they've been up to. So the first one we're going to go to is Mr. Danny Ranks, and we're going to talk to him in the comfort of his studio, back bedroom, whatever it is, and we're going to see what he's been up to during lockdown. So let's get the call going. So calling Mr. Danny Ranks, let's see if he's in. Oh, he's there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. How are you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
Let's just get the angle here right. We've had real difficulty recording a Facebook call, haven't we?
Proper, yeah, it shouldn't be like that. It should be simple, but
yeah.
It's not simple.
Anyway, how are you doing? Not seen you for weeks.
I'm alright, I'm just chilling in my little studio, doing some editing in the Back Bedroom Productions.
I was just going to say, is your studio like my studio?
It's kind of exactly the same, yeah.
Back bedroom / studio.
even the thing that you have your laptop on is the same here. If you can reveal that secret.
The ironing board.
The ironing board, yeah. It comes in really useful, doesn't it? It's a really good... I've got everything connected, my microphone and everything connected to the ironing board.
You're looking very professional there with the microphone. You know, anyone would think you was a radio DJ.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe I am on the side.
Well, we'll ask you about that. We'll ask you about that in a minute. As it's been a while since I've seen you. Has your head got smaller as the hat got bigger?
I think the peak might be a little bit bigger on this one.
So, did you get the painting done in the house?
No, we attempted it and then gave up. And I've not even been doing any of my painting either, like any of the sculpturing, the painting, any of that. That's all been put away because, like I say, I've moved upstairs away from where I would usually be doing it.
From your studio?
Yeah, so it's all on hold, including the decorating.
Very strange times. When are we going to get back out? Honestly, I can't deal with it. We was right in the prime of doing the wet earth colliery stuff, weren't we?
It was we did number 2, and then we arranged to go back for number 3.
We was on the brink. It was that week, weren't it?
It was that week.
And did they announce lockdown on the Tuesday, something stupid like that?
Yeah, because we needed to go back and do 2 specific sets of filming.
Yeah.
We was humming and hawing about, and then too late, unfortunately. But at least, I think at least we know that when we go back, it should be how we left it.
We've been looking at the Brindley stuff from the 1700s, and suddenly now when you get down to the colliery, it turns into like 1920s, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, you're a bit of a... What's this? You've got a radio DJ job set up or something now?
Yeah, so years ago, like ages ago, I used to do a show called Rhythm and Roots on Manchester Radio. So it was like a reggae talk show kind of. It touched on conspiracies and things like that. And I used to really enjoy doing it. And I thought, everyone's in lockdown, everyone's turning to either YouTube, the internet, and to radio to listen to and like kind of escape as well, because you don't just want to be hearing about what's going on in the news. So I brought the show back, Rhythm and Roots, on Manchester Radio, and it's a reggae-based feature show, really. You'll be hearing lots of different features on it, including yourself, because you're on the first show as well. So
am I on it? Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's how random it is. So I'll be playing reggae music and old obscure dub and roots music.
Ooh,
and
I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure?
That music doesn't really... your sort of like your reggae is really hard. Will I hear any... I started this show off with... Stevie Wonder, Master Blaster Jamming. Will I hear that, or is that too?
It's too commercial.
Oh no!
The songs that you hear on my show, I kind of start off with a few commercial songs so people will know what they're listening to, and then the longer the show goes on, it just gets more obscure. But because they're obscure and you've not heard it before, you might think, well, actually, that's quite a good tune, and I'll listen to that tune.
Okay, so right, in a nutshell, it's Manchester Online Radio. How do we find it?
ManchesterRadio.online is the website. You can listen on there. You can also listen through the Forever Manchester website. And then, of course, I'll be plugging it on my Facebook, Danny Ranks.
Okay, what time are you on?
I don't know, because it's not going to be live. It's pre-recorded, so I'm aiming for finishing it tomorrow night, because I've done all the music and I've done all the prep. I just need to get you on to do your bit, and then I can polish it all and then bang it on the system. But that's the first show. The second and third shows are going to be live, so people will be able to phone in on Skype and have a good old chinwag.
With you, Mr. Ranks?
Yeah, with me, in this setup here. So if you want to, like, I don't want to be like talking about current news or bringing the kind of tone down. So if you've got something that you want to talk about that's not current news.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right,
yeah,
perfect. Good stuff. Okay, so in a nutshell, you haven't painted the house, you've not been doing any of your painting or sculpturing, and you're going to be on Manchester Radio Online.
Yes.
And as soon as this bloody lockdown's over, we're going out filming Wet Earth again.
Yes, definitely. That's what we're going to be talking on my show about. We'll be doing a proper in-depth interview about the Wet Earth colliery, so yeah, that'll be quite good.
Okay. Right, well, nice to see you again.
Thank you very much. We're going to have to do more of this, aren't we?
Yeah, we need to set up a way of... I might try and get you on the next live stream if I can. We've been working on some software, haven't we, to bring you in on a Skype call.
We have. How many bits of software have we gone through now that's not worked?
Yeah, loads of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Good to see that you're having a productive time on lockdown.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the key. I think if everyone's at home and they're not doing anything and moping around, you've got to stay active. And of course, YouTube is right there, and Martin Zero's channel's right there. To go right the way back to the beginning and watch them all and do a big binge watch. Right, cheers, pal. I shall hopefully see you in a few weeks' time. Definitely. Thanks for joining us. No worries. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Danny Ranks. Bye. Bye-bye. And I can't wait until we're back out after lockdown and we're filming part 3 of Wet Earth Colliery that got so rudely interrupted by the bloody global pandemic, whatever it is. Anyway, so the next part of our magazine style feature, I should probably get my co-host to introduce it, but I have no co-host. So, on a serious note, did you know that Manchester has got a film industry? I know we've seen stuff in Manchester. If you live here, you've been in the city centre, we've seen things being filmed here, but did you know we've actually got a film industry based here? Right, so what I'm going to introduce now is a video within a video. So about a year ago, me and Connor got invited to a place called Space Studios in West Gorton by a gentleman named Tom. He said, we're in between productions at the moment, come down and we can have a quick look around the studios and you can see what it's like. So me and Connor, brilliant. Now West Gorton, it's where they filmed the early episodes of the Shameless series, and the set used to be on this site. It's since gone, but it's quite a massive complex, to be honest with you. But yeah, this was filmed about a year ago, and if you're wondering why it never came out, it was because it was only a short video, and I think
I was going to put it out on a Wednesday or something like that, and I never got round to putting it out because I was always working on the next weekend's video, bigger video, and this kept getting shelved and shelved. So now is a perfect time to put it out. So this is Space Studios, West Gorton, Manchester. It was filmed about a year ago, March last year, 2019. Welcome back to another video. So I'm in a place called Space Studios in Manchester, and it kind of like completes the circle for me, because if you remember a few months ago I did a video down at the old Granada site, and we were probably the last people in that building, the old Granada building, because they were decommissioning it, and what they were doing was they were going to make it into a hotel. And we've been invited there today though to a place like, say, Space Studios, and we're actually in West Gorton in Manchester. Lots of history around here and lots of former industry. And what I wanted to do was, I wanted to show you what's going on in Manchester today, because although we look at a lot of the history and things from the past, it's good to see that current things that are happening. This is an amazing place. It's a whole Hollywood production down here, or it's like Hollywood, literally. So we're going to take a quick look round some behind the scenes footage of this amazing sort of like studio complex. So this whole complex, Space Studios, is about 1 million square feet. The stages, which is sort of like the spaces where they build the sets, 1 to 5 are behind me there, in that building there. But across the car park over there is the biggest space, that dark building there. That is Space 6, and that stands alone, and that's the biggest stage. That apparently is 30,000 square feet. So this area here is like a loading bay, and we've got the workshops for the studio. So on this side here, if you can show you, on there you've got the workshops, and on this side you've got the actual stages, the film stages. So we're just going to take a quick peek into one of the workshops. You'll see all the trucks come down here and unload and everything, so it's like a loading area. But some real craftsmen employed here, carpenters, joiners, engineers, model makers, all sorts of things going on here. So we'll see if we can just take a sneak peek into one of these workshops.
It's to film because you can be based here and then go off into the city, shooting everything,
So like I say, lots of carpenters that work here, a whole industry around the film industry here in Manchester. Sets, props, all sorts of things that go on in here. So that tradition of workmanship, of sort of skills, is still happening, and it's really encouraging to see it happening down here in Manchester. So this is Space 2, one of these smaller stages, but we're not allowed to go in, believe it or not, because there's a production being built in there at the minute, and obviously they've got to protect the clients and the people that come down here and film. It would be great to go in and see what they're building and what they're filming, but you know, you can't push your luck, can you? And I completely understand why we can't go in and film, because it's that thing, it's, you know, the magic of television. So as we walk down this corridor, on the sides are sort of various offices of various production companies, and we're sort of first floor up, and this is where it starts. They sort of start to plan the programs or the productions here. So it starts sometimes with a model, a drawing that is made in an office, and then they work out the shots and everything. And I can't show you because it's all very sensitive stuff, but in the offices on the side here, the sort of photos of on the wall of various locations they're going to use. We've just seen a big model of a set, and they basically design everything up here, and then they go down to the stages and build it in real life and start filming. Right, so we're going to look at one of the stages now. This is stage 1. It's one of the smaller ones compared to the huge one over there. So I'll just show you what they've got down there. Again, we're in between productions, so there's nothing being filmed in here at the moment. You'll notice the red corridor. Apparently, an interesting story. Man United like to come, if they film anything, they like to come to this one because of all the red and everything. So for the football fans, but we're going here. We're not actually recording. The light's on. It says recording there, if you can see it. Yeah, so this is quite a vast space, to be honest with you. So this is number 1, and you can see it's quite a huge space, and you've got the big black curtains round that deaden the sound and try and do away with the acoustics in here, or alter the acoustics. And what happens is basically, like I say, the company come in, mark out the floor, and basically build a set in here and then film. So this is space 1. Space 6, we're going to go over there and see if we can take a look inside it. We're lucky to get a glimpse inside what we're going to go and have a look at, because apparently it's booked up now. This stage is booked up for the next 2 years. Some massive productions have been filmed in here. Like I say, it's supposed to be the biggest space. So we'll go in and have a look. Oh my God, it's a bit dark in here, Connor. It's massive, 30,000 square foot. We're blown away by the size of it, and we're out of breath. So let's just show you some of the interesting features in this massive, massive stage. I'm not a big footballer, but I want to get a football out and kick it around in here and run round for some reason. Okay, so what happens in here? Well, basically, trucks come in at those doors down there, you can see there. Trucks come in or goods are unloaded, and basically what they do is Space Studio sends a plan out of the size of this place, and they basically mark the floor out. I'm just looking down here now, there's something interesting on the floor. If you see there, it says something centre of column 6 mil, and that's what they do. And then they build the set in here. Soundproofing up there on the walls, so let's go and take a look at that. It's that soft sort of stuff, but so the acoustics are right in here. You can see that. It's kind of like that padded sort of stuff. In the ceiling is a massive air conditioning system, because you can imagine once they get the lights in here, this place gets hot, very, very hot. So there's an entire air conditioning and cooling system in the ceiling. You see over here where all the plugs and the power system comes in. Take it, it's 3-phase power, is it? Yeah, it is, yeah. Not that I know a lot about power, but you'll see all the power here where it comes in. Did they suspend a bus as well, apparently, for a certain scene in a certain film? Yeah, there was a certain film made, and there was something happened, and they had to suspend a bus in mid-air in here. So that would have been good to see. And then you've got these little sort of panels on the wall here, and apparently they can run cables over and down here outside to trucks that might be recording, or have got specialist equipment on. So yeah, it's quite a privilege to be here. This is Space 6. And to think, when you think about it, you know, and you could be at the cinema and you'll be watching some big production, and it's been filmed in here, in West Gorton, in Manchester. It's great. I just wish I could sort of like show you some of the scenes that have been filmed in here. Obviously we can't do that, but you wouldn't even be able to place it, would you? But you know, it's amazing to think some of the Hollywood magic that takes place in here. There you go, it's a good place that, isn't it? Space Studios. Anyway, outtakes. In the live stream that I did recently, you said you wanted outtakes, and I thought to myself, I can't think of anything really that's hilarious that's happened, to be honest with you. But when I was looking through the Space Studios footage, I did find a couple of things that I'm going to show you. So here's a couple of outtakes. The first one is me trying to get the clip going and Connor, shall we say, attending to his appearance. But anyway, here's a few outtakes.
Wow, look at that.
Right, ready?
So you're not looking at the one that.
So it's too dark. It's too dark.
Welcome back to mountainzero.co.uk/season supply. See website details. Tour coming up soon. Glastonbury.
That's too way in it. I'll just have to go with the intros I've done.
Do you want me to hold it?
No, because it's too dark under here. Unless no. So I'm going to show you one of the So I'm going to show you one of the stages now. This is Space 1. It says recording there, but we've just turned it on for effect. It's one of the smaller stages, but I'll show you this so you can take a look at it. Oop. So we're going to go into one of the stages now. This is we've done it again. We're locked out. We're locked out. Oh no, yeah. There you go. I don't know how long we were stood outside that door for till somebody came and opened it for us. So it's nostalgia time. If you remember last week when we were doing the comma van, which is just there. The little dinky toys, the comma vans and all the rest of it. I thought we'd do a little short nostalgia time feature in our magazine style show. So I'll be brief. Two things that are a bit of an anomaly. Do you remember Cresta fizzy drinks? I remember getting one once and it was like purple froth. Here it is, Cresta, and the little saying was, it's frothy man, and I think it was a polar bear. Cracker Barrel cheese. Whatever happened to Cracker Barrel cheese? Is it still going? I thought it was for proper posh people that. I used to cut it with this cheese knife, didn't I? And I never seen a cheese knife like that before. But I thought I'd talk about chocolate bars. Now, chocolate bars feature very heavily in your life when you're a child and you go to the sweet shop and there they all are on display and you're faced with this multitude of choices. What do I get? So I try to remember some of the anomalies. So we'll start with the stuff that is probably still going today. Galaxy. Do you remember when Galaxy wrappers looked like this? By the way, I do apologise if you're not from the UK and this isn't really resonating with you, but I'm sure you'll have your things that you remember. But here in the UK, there were certain chocolate bars that I don't know whether they travelled elsewhere in the world, but I'm going to look at some of them. So that was Galaxy. I'm looking down at my laptop here to try and remember them. There was a box of chocolates, if you remember it, called Weekend. Do you remember them? I thought we were common because we never got weekend at weekend, which was when you were supposed to have weekend chocolates. I think we probably got them on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I thought that made us common. So let's go through a few of them. Marathons, of course. You remember marathons? Old Jamaica. How good was Old Jamaica? I really used to like Old Jamaica. This is a strange one. Tell me if you remember this one, right? And this really is a strange one. I don't even know if I like this chocolate bar. It was called Icebreaker. Proper 70s chocolate bar that. And I think it was, you cracked it open and it was like this green sort of translucent toffee inside. And then it was chocolate covered and I think it was it mint inside or something? Not sure. Dairy box. Right now, I remember a chocolate bar that had chocolates in it like it was from a chocolate box. And this is the one I think it was, Dairy Box, but in a bar. Do you remember these? Luxury, pure luxury, wasn't it? Eh? I don't think I ever bought them. I thought they were for what you bought your mum. And Do you remember this one? The pink Panther chocolate bar. And when you opened it, it was pink chocolate inside. How amazing was that? I think it was probably one of the most sickliest things you could have ever had in your life, but I do remember buying Pink Panther chocolate bars quite frequently. And finally, just for a bit of nostalgia, do you remember, or I remember my grandma taking me on a holiday to the Isle of Man, and she took me to the Isle of Man because she used to go there when she was a child, and I think she wanted to revisit it. She was in her 60s. So it was 1979, I'm about, I'm 12 years old, and my grandma booked a holiday to the Isle of Man with the Golden Rail. That's what she called it, the Golden Rail. And for weeks beforehand, I kept hearing about this holiday. We're going with the Golden Rail, and they're wonderful because what they do is they meet you. They'll meet us in Liverpool when we get the train from Manchester to Liverpool. They meet us at Liverpool. We get a bus. This is what she'd say. They take us on a bus to the docks. And we go on the boat over to the Isle of Man, and the holiday's booked. Marvellous, bloody marvellous, Golden Rail, the Golden Rail, she called it. Anyway, I can't find much on them, but I found a couple of pictures, as you've probably just seen, the Golden Rail, my grandma would call it. So there you go, a little bit of nostalgia. I don't know if you remember any of that, or whether I'm just waffling, and I do apologise to the international audience that I'm being a bit self-indulgent. Oh, I didn't mention Caramacs. Do you remember Caramacs? They were really nice Caramacs. So before we go, I'm going to leave you with a couple of pictures. So we're going to leave now with a wonderful picture of the Baytree Mills that I found, and I only found it yesterday, the day before I'm making this video, and it's wonderful, and it must be dated around, it looks like the early 1900s. But what a picture, what a fantastic picture. And look at the clothes that they're wearing. So I'll leave you with this picture. And then if you remember last time we talked about the Irkdale Printworks down in Collyhurst, and how I couldn't find a picture of it, and then I finally did find a picture of it. Well, our friend Nick, I've got a friend called Nick, who sent me some more pictures of the Irkdale Printing Works. So I'm going to leave you with some black and white pictures, and I'll sign out now, and hopefully we'll be back next week with either a live stream or another magazine style program. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry about the random nature of it. Take care, look after yourself on lockdown, and remember, this will soon be over and everything will get back to normal. And I can't wait, and I'm sure you can't wait. Thanks for watching this little video. Bye for now.